Namaste. This is Swami Prabodhananda, uh, uh, the General Secretary of International Vedanta Society, uh, and I'm live today after a long time uh, because I was not feeling well. I needed some rest, uh, and I think that within this time I had some very good rest, and we are having some very good time with some youngsters here in Varanasi who wants to learn Bhagavad Gita, its recitation. So it's very exciting. It's very it's very blissful to see them learning Bhagavad Gita. So I wish them all the best, and I welcome you all again in this live session of Bhagavad Gita. We are discussing the third chapter, Karma Yoga, and you will remember that when we used to meet in this recent last days. So we had this problem of internet, of connectivity. So let's hope that we don't have this problem of connectivity, and we can talk freely, and we can interact, and we can learn Bhagavad Gita. So I am thinking of giving classes every day, because even Bhagwan told us to study Bhagavad Gita. So what I'm thinking is, like maybe 30 minutes or 45 minutes, small short classes, not too much, just two or three verses we can discuss, and because Bhagwan said that you should read Bhagavad Gita every day. So maybe I'm thinking about it that maybe I can start a class, which will be like it will be Bengali, Hindi, and English together. Because we have a lot of uh, we have a lot of viewers who are from different languages. So maybe we can pranam Yuri. So maybe we can start that. Every day, like 30 minutes Bhagavad Gita, small, a little bit, or one or two verse. That's it. So I'm thinking about it. If you like it, just tell me. Probably we'll start that. So today, before going into Bhagavad Gita, before going into this, let us meditate for some time. And probably most of us, we don't know that we have started this class. Because uh, I don't think we have changed the time, and most of us think that the class is not there. So uh, let this class go just move for 1 or 2 days. So then people will start to people will uh, start to gather and start to settle down. So let us meditate for 2 minutes, and then we start. Thank you. So, welcome, welcome back. So, um, so we had discussed Bhagavad Gita, this third chapter. We had already discussed up to the 24th verse, and in the 24th verse, Lord Krishna is saying that though I don't have anything which I should achieve, that is, I've achieved everything. There's nothing which I have to achieve. There is no work. There is no responsibility for me. I'm like fulfilled. I'm completely, I'm fulfilled. I have achieved everything. I'm completely satisfied in every respect in my life. But still I work. But still I work. He said, do you know why? The only reason is if I don't work, then this world is following me. This world is following me, and if I don't work, the world will also stop working. And if the world stops working, then it will be destroyed completely. You know, if I don't work, nothing is, there will be no difference. There will be no difference. Everything will be okay because I am beyond work. I am not only enlightened, I am Yogeshwara. I'm the one which is the giver of enlightenment. So if I don't work, it's nothing. It doesn't matter because I've gone beyond all actions. But this world has not gone beyond actions. The world is, they need to do actions to go beyond that, to get enlightened. So if because they are always watching me, they're always following me. So if I don't work, then they will also not work. And if they don't work, they will bring destruction to their family. They'll build destruction to the structure of their family, the structure of their, of their community of their society, and in this way to the whole world. So I don't want to be the reason of destruction of this whole world, and that is why I work. By saying this, what he's saying is that, now also we'll see that, actions is the most important aspect of our life. There should not be, this, there should not be, in any time, there should not be this consideration that, we don't need to do any work. We always have to work. We always have to work because, work is the basis of this, of life, of this creation. Okay, and that is why we should not, we should not stay away from work. We should not be lazy. But while we work, we have to be very, we have to be very cautious. We have to be very cautious, careful that this work should be for selflessness. This work should be for others. It should not, it should not be selfish work. It should not, it should not be done to serve my own interest. It should be to serve the interest of everybody of this world. Okay, so that is what Krishna is trying to say, that you need to always, you need to always strive for actions. You should not stop working. Okay, so now we are going into the next, that is 25 verses. What he says: sakta karmanno vidvangso yatha kurvanti bharata. you know a person who is not enlightened, he gets attached to everything. He gets not only attached to his ego, his mind, his senses. It's not only that, he even gets attached to all the actions that he does. He gets attached to the every object of this world. So attachment is a very, common feature of his life. But a person who is an enlightened soul, you know he though he works much more than an unenlightened soul. An enlightened soul can work much more than an unenlightened soul. Okay, so though he can work much more than an unenlightened soul, still they remain unattached. This is the difference between an enlightened worker and an unenlightened worker. An unenlightened worker, a worker who have not never at never experienced the self, who has never experienced the truth. For him, everything is true. For him, everything is true. Everything is true. And for this, he is always he's always getting attached to everything. But for an enlightened soul, everything is false. Everything in this world is false, and because of this, he is not attached to anything. He's free from everything. Though he's working day and night. Though he's working day and night, but he is free. He does not get attached to anything, neither the body, nor the mind, nor the actions, not this world, nor the results of the actions. He's free from everything. Okay, so that is what Krishna is saying. Sakta karmanna vidvangso yatha kurvanti bharata. Whatever work an unenlightened soul does, he is always attached. But kuryad vidangs tatha asakta chikirshu loka sangraha. But a person who is enlightened, a person who is a wise man, he does everything by being unattached. Whatever he is doing everything by being unattached, and his only motive of all the actions is to do good to the masses. Though he's working day in and day out, but his only motive of his work is to do good to the masses. Okay, so and an unenlightened soul, his motive is to do good to himself, and because his motive is to do good to himself, he gets attached to everything which is around him, and because he is attached to everything which is around him, he does not get happiness at all. He's always anxious. He's always scared. He's always scared. He cannot sit quietly in one place, always running, because there is always this sense of losing. He thinks that if he doesn't run, maybe he is going to lose. And that is why he's constantly on motion. He's constantly on motion. But a person who is a wise person, he's a wise person. He does everything by being unattached. He's very happy. He's very calm. He's very settled. He's very grounded. He's very grounded, very assured about himself. He works very silently, very calmly. Okay, don't get anxious. When you are getting anxious while doing anything, always know that you are getting attached. If you're getting anxious while doing anything, or not doing anything, know that you are getting somewhere, you are attached. Somewhere there is this element of attachment. Get rid of that. Okay, so sakta karmanno vidvangso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryad vidangs tadha asakta trishur chikirshu loka sangraham. An enlightened soul, an unenlightened soul, because he does not know the reality. Because he does not know the reality, he gets attached to everything, because for him this world is true. For him this world is true, and because of that he gets attached to everything. But an enlightened soul, he knows what is true and what is false. He knows everything is false, and that is why he knows that these actions also are false. But though these actions are false, he needs to keep on doing these actions, because without doing actions, he is going to become lazy, tamasic. And then, what will happen? He will have complications, other complications. So though these works are all false, but still, he needs to do them just to avoid the other effects of ignorance, other effects of this world. Okay, so that is why he does everything. An enlightened soul, an enlightened soul works very, very diligently, with full dedication, but completely remaining unattached. But while he is working, the only motive of his work is to do good to the masses. The motive of his work is not to not to serve his own purpose, but to do good to the masses. Okay, so this is what the verse number 25 says. Now, na buddhir veda janayed agyanam karma sanginam yosha et sarva karmani vidhangs yukta samacharan. Because actions are all false, because actions are done only, to fulfill your needs of this world. But the world is not for, the world is false completely. Your body is also false. Everything is false, so they don't have any reason. This is known by a person who is enlightened. An enlightened person knows that everything in this world is just a delusion. Everything in this world is just a delusion, and there is nothing to work. There is nothing to be achieved. There's nothing to be, to be enjoyed. The only thing which can be enjoyed, and the only enjoyment, is being in the self, and there is no enjoyment in the external world. And because he knows this, he does not go into that, and that is why he does not have any action. At the beginning of karma yoga, Lord Krishna said that there are two paths. One is jnana yoga, but this jnana yoga is only for the enlightened. It's not for everybody. It's only for the enlightened. And the other is karma yoga. And the karma yoga is for the people who are aspiring for enlightenment. So a person who has completely, who has attained enlightenment, for him there is no actions, there is no work, there is no responsibility. He's free from everything. So because he's free from everything, he doesn't need to work. He should not impart this knowledge of worklessness into the person who is unenlightened. Though actions are false, but the actions of an unenlightened soul is not false. He needs to do action. He needs to do hard work. And a person who has attained enlightenment never should discourage. This is what we see. Very, generally we see this. A person gets a little bit of realization, and then he starts to, condemn others who are working. I've seen this in my life. Hey, why are you working? And this, and as if a person who works is a fool. And he gives this impression, And I've seen that there are many honest workers. At some point, they get discouraged. That working, working might mean that you cannot be unenlightened. You cannot be enlightened. If you keep on working, it means that you have not understand knowledge. You have not understood anything, and you are never going to attain knowledge. And this, and I have seen these people, slowly they keep away from work, only because some of us, some of the enlightened souls, they have put this, that hey, this is not good. The work is not good. If you work too much, it means that you are not, you have no knowledge at all. So these kind of impressions has been put on them. So here Krishna says that a person who has attained enlightenment should never put this kind of impressions in the mind of an unenlightened soul, that work is bad, that work is useless. that work cannot yield enlightenment. This an enlightened soul should never do this. He should always, he should always encourage people to work with sincerity, with honesty. He should always, encourage people to do this. He never should, discourage people to to stop working. Okay, he never should discourage people for working. He should always encourage them, and that is what he says. Na buddhir bheda janayed agyana karma sanginam yosha eta sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. Always an enlightened soul must, must must inspire the world to work for for the betterment. Why? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimuratma karta aham iti manyate. Why should we work? And how should we work? And how do we work? Our work is done by Prakriti, the nature. When the nature gets associated with the guna or the qualities. What is nature? Nature means, these five elements. The five elements: mind, intellect, and ego. This 8 is called nature. And guna. And what are the qualities? Sattva, rajas, and tamas. So these 8 elements, when they interact with the qualities, the gunas, then they create actions. Okay? Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha. Only by the interaction of this nature and the attributes, they create work, they create actions. Okay, and these actions, they manifest to the body. They keep manifesting to the body. We do not do any actions. We are the observer. We don't do, because we don't need to do any action, because we are always the self. We are always fulfilled, so we don't need to do any actions. These actions are done by the nature, because the nature has to work to sustain itself. I don't need to work because I'm not dependent on anything. Because I'm not dependent on anything. I'm independent. I'm free. I'm infinite. I'm luminous. I'm the consciousness. I'm the source. I'm the substratum of everything. So I don't need to depend on it, because I'm not dependent on anything. I'm not a synthesis of something. I'm the source of everything. Because I'm the source of everything, I don't need to work. But the nature does. The nature needs to work, because the nature has to sustain itself. It is dependent on everything. It's dependent on the nature. It's dependent on the qualities. So it needs to work. And because it works, and when it works, what happens? There is one entity called akara, that is ego, which is also a part of nature. It is not a part of me. It is also a part of nature. What happens? Because I am ignorant about my own self. I'm ignorant about my own, identity. What happens is I impose myself as being an ego. I'm not an ego. I'm not the ego, but I impose myself as being an ego. And because of this, I become, I think that I am the one who is doing everything. I become the ego. And because of this, I become the ego. I impose myself in the ego. I become the ego. And, I think that I am doing this work. I'm doing these actions. But I never do any action. I am always free from all actions. Okay? So, prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimuratma karta aham iti manyate. The nature and the qualities, they interact within each other. The nature and the attributes, they interact among each other, and they create work, and this is how people work, and this is how people work. But my ego, my ahankar, my ego is is stupid. It's a stupid. It thinks, that I am the doer. It thinks I'm the doer, and it becomes the doer, and thus it gets attached to everything. So if you need to remain unattached, if you need to remain unattached from everything of this world, from the objects of this world, from your body, from your mind, from your thoughts, the only thing that you need to do is to have a full conviction that you are not the doer of any action, and you need to be unattached from everything, every work, and the doership, and the results of those actions. This is what we had already discussed earlier, that you need to be, you need to remain away from the actions, from the results of your actions, from the actions, and the doer of the actions. You need to remain unattached from these three, and that is how you will see that you have become unattached from the whole world. There is nothing in this world that is going to bind you. There's nothing in this world that is going to bind you. Okay, so let us stop here, because today is the first day. So let's just discuss these three verses. And if you can, I think that this 6 o'clock is not possible for me, because I have my class here. Boys comes here. I have to move into this earlier, 8:30. So every day 8:30, I'm going to meet, and we are going to discuss like 2 or 3 verses, like half an hour. Okay, so if you want to come, everybody is welcome. Please join us in this Bhagavad Gita discussion for like half an hour from 8:30 every day in the night, India time. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.